Speaking of mental health, okay, Ari. Now listen, I'm gonna give y'all some honest feedback when it comes to this, and I don't want to hear no shit. Matter of fact, I ain't even got the damn shit in front of me. But here's the thing: I know a lot of y'all don't like Ari, and you're saying that maybe she probably deserved to go through what she's been going through. She was very transparent here lately about her mental health struggles and medication and stuff like that. And so without further ado, viewer discretion is advised, okay? Because, you know, when we play these things, I'm not here to try to turn down the mood, but I'm here to educate and entertain at the same time. So here's Ari telling us about her mental health struggles as well as the prescription meds as well, too. Okay, so let's go.
My memory is really shot the fuck out. And it comes from anxiety. And, you know, when you take shit, I think that it alters your brain. Like, it's fixing one thing, but it's fixing up something else. And that is why medication in this world is number one. That's why this shit is so expensive, because it will really, like, they will give you medicine, or you'll take medicine for something and fuck something else, and they need medicine for that. And it's just like going. It's just a fucked up thing. And that is scary. You will ask me a question about something, and I'll be like, I don't know, or like, I forget. And a motherfucker would dead think I'm lying, or like bullshitting around, and I'm be dead ass serious. Something is really wrong with my brain. This is not okay. And then I have like, so if I'm just regular, right? Like, so if you have anxiety, like, so with me, I need the shakes. Like, so I shake all the time, right? Not literally all the time, but like, I be shaking. Unless I'm like, you know, like I got what I need, you know, and then I'm just like regular, like I'm feel like a normal human fucking being. But I'm saying that to say, like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, deal with having severe anxiety and losing my mind every day, or not have my memory? You know what I mean? Like, I remember things. Like, I'm not literally, like, it's flat. I don't know shit. But it's like if you watch the, and then I already have, like, if I'm talking, like, if I'm on my phone and he's talking to me, like, my attention span, bro, is miserable. Like, you can have a whole, everybody know, my mama, everybody, like, if they talking to me, they'll just stop talking if I'm doing something on my phone.
So did the anxiety medication give an ADHD? Because that's a symptom of ADHD. Your short-term memory be fried. Long-term memory is a beast. Pray for Ari. But I do want to say this, guys. Okay, now I am going to use this as an opportunity to educate. I don't care what she's been through. I know you guys said she was dragging a Leslie Scott kid and stuff like that. I don't condone dragging kids or anything like that at all. I do condone dragging the mammy, because the mammy was responsible as to why, you know, the child came out that way. And I do know Alexis Scott's parents called me and said that she refused to go up there and breastfeed that baby after she done drank with that baby. And then tried to bring that baby on Solo Lucci. Anyway, back to Ari. Okay, so anxiety is very real. I started suffering from anxiety when I was 10 years old. This had to do with, you know, here's the thing, and I'm not trying to make a sad story here, but like trauma, okay? So when kids process trauma, your environment is supposed to be safe, it's supposed to be secure, but when you're getting molested, you're getting beat on, you're watching your parents fight, you're watching all this stuff go on, it kind of puts you in survival mode and fear mode, and so you're always on edge, whereas kids should always feel safe and secure. And so I remember having my first panic attack when I realized that the sky was endless. I was like, oh my God, there's no end to the sky. And I just started freaking out. And I had to call my cousin. I was like, oh my God, I'm lucky. And the stars don't end. And you know what I'm saying? And that's when I knew some shit was wrong, right? But mom was like, you fine, you just scared. But she was the main one that was driving my anxiety, because I remember asking her at one time, because my grandma had died. And I was like, because this is how I know how to identify triggers. So the only reason I'm sharing this with you is because a lot of people got to figure out before they go to these extreme methods to go and medicate, figure out what's triggering anxiety before you medicate yourself, okay? And then pick up your brain, right? So I remember asking her one time about death. It was the first time I was conscious about death. I was 10 years old. My grandmother had died. And I was like, what is death? And to this day, she told me, and my sisters remember when she told me this. I was like, my mama was fucked up for doing this, because I still think to this day at 44 years old that when you die, or the first symptom of death is when your feet get cold. She was like, yeah, everybody got to ride that car one day. Your feet get cold. And I'm sitting there like, my feet cold right now. And I remember having a panic attack in front of my mom. And she started laughing. And my dad was like, what are you doing? I was like, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to just started freaking out. And so that moment on, that was like the first time I had, that and that other time was the first time I ever had a panic attack. And I had been having them up until, hell, I think not recently, but maybe last year. I was in Fort Lauderdale. It was right before my neck surgery on my thyroid. So what happens is when you have hyperthyroidism, it causes your adrenal glands to work overtime. So it causes anxiety, right? I'm always excited, always happy. And so I remember right before the show started, y'all didn't even know, right? I was having a damn panic. I said, Jasmine, you gotta end the show. I got a panic attack. She said, we just started. I said, Jasmine, shut this motherfucker down. They finna see me flip my shit. She was like, what's wrong with you? So I had to get outside. I was like, so that's when my doctor had told me, he's like, we got to have a second surgery on the thyroid. It's high, so that's what's causing your panic attacks and stuff like that. But as a result of the thyroid, of course, diet factors, environmental factors, as well as stress factors causes hyperthyroidism. And that's all my doctor ever talks about is like, you have to be calm. You have to meditate. You have to do yoga. You got to do all these things to calm your mind. You are in control of your mind. Your mind is not in control of you. You are in control of it. So you can tell it what you want it to do. And I do that every day when I go and meditate and I'm in stillness and I say, I'm not going to move. And I do not move. It doesn't matter if it's an itch or scratch. That is when I am consciously, getting in control of my mind so that if anything were to trigger me in my environment, I am in control of how my mind responds to it, except for when I smoke weed. Now, weed, that's a whole nother story. Okay? Because it just... If you got anxiety, they may tell you smoking weed is good. That is not a good idea, okay? There's plenty of times I done ran down the street from smoking too much herb and tried to check myself into a hospital only for it to calm down and I start laughing. It is not funny, but it is funny, okay? Deep breathing exercises, exercising as well. Magnesium. You can go and look right now on Google. They're going to tell you 71% of Americans suffer from anxiety due to low magnesium or no magnesium in the body because the magnesium helps to control the central nervous system and helps to calm your nerves. Relax your bowels so you will poop. Relax your mind, relax your mood. And so a lot of things that you would normally react to, the magnesium is a natural calmer. That's why we call it the heart calmer. That's why I partnered with that company, okay? I just had to slide that in. You can take it off, shoptkdeals.com, use the coupon code TK10. But these are just natural things that you can do. And so going to the extreme to go to a doctor, because I was on medication at one time. They tried to give it to me when I was like 12 in life management in Panama City. And I remember I was like, I'm not taking this medicine because I ain't got no problems. I used to fight a lot, but I was like, I ain't got no problems. And that was part of my ADHD. Boy, I would snap on a pitch in a minute, okay? I was like, but for the most part, I'm just like, I'm good because like I'm not in here at 13 years old with an STD. You trying to medicate me, but yeah, you ain't got that bitch on no medication. She's 13 and she pregnant by a grown nigga. I ain't never had sex before. I'm not taking that. And I remember taking it and it would like shock my brain. It was like electricity. And so ever since then, I didn't medicate, but I did medicate one time when I was 20 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And I was just looking at the floor the whole time. I would not raise my head. I was just looking at the floor. I was so much under stress. I had my own apartment, living on my own, no support, no help. You know what I'm saying? And I remember going into my therapist's office and she couldn't get me to look at anybody in the eye. Could you imagine somebody like me? I could not look you in the eye. I'm always in your face. I'm always in your energy. And I was just sitting there and she was just like, look at me. I was like, no. And I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything, right? So she ended up giving me a little medication. It worked. I weeded myself off for 4 months, but I'm telling you, it made me not care about anything. So I know what Ari is talking about. It would be like, hey, what happened to your mama today? I'm like, what happened to her? I don't know. She good? And if she ain't good, oh well. Like it made me so careless, so forgetful, so just non-existent. I was a zombie. And I'm not saying medications don't work, but when I see like, Keisha Kayor going to the extreme with Gucci to medicate him instead of using other methods to do it, because there are other methods to medicate someone, but I understand when you in control of all the money and all he got to do is bathe and go to the studio, I get it. You need that motherfucker sedated, but you don't have to go that route. There are other means to go. And what I recommend is natural ways to do it, okay? Because I went through it. So Ari is not crazy. And now that they have technology to where you can play a game and put some on your head and now you can tell the game what to do. Like, they know exactly what they're doing. And soon they're going to start erasing subconscious as a way to combat post-traumatic stress disorder. Y'all got to keep your heads on the swivel. And I'm sorry to take a long time with this segment here, but it's really passionate to me because I have suffered from it and I know. And it's something that I feel like I'm in control of because I do things to ensure that I'm not putting myself in a situation to where I could be triggered and then I react, because you're always in a reactionary phase. You're not in an in control phase. And so I always just make sure I'm in control of me as much as I can. And then, you know, other methods, yoga. Yoga makes me cry. I'm not even gonna lie. Okay? Yoga makes me cry. Every time I get in that deep stretch, they be like, hold it up. I said, Lord, thank you. This shit feels so good. I swear to God. Okay? So listen, take care of yourselves, guys. Please, please, please. And yeah. True story. I was 37, pregnant, and my ass was on a walker. Why? He took all my damn vitamin D. Now, even though I was taking a prenatal, he took that too, and I was breastfeeding, and he took more. I didn't find out until 3 years later that my vitamin D was so low. I took a test. Here's the test. And as you can see, severely so low in vitamin D3 that they had to supplement me 50,000 IUs, my doctor, okay, at 40 years old. I couldn't walk from my office to my house, which was across the street. I had to wear thick sole shoes just to ease up the pain on my feet. Would have known it would have been a simple vitamin deficiency. And so for that reason, I keep me some vitamin D3. Why? Because it helps the body to absorb calcium, to support the immune system so that the immune system won't cause inflammation, which will cause pain. And so this is the one that I particularly use, which is 10,000 IUs. It is flavored. I love that it has vitamin C here. You don't need to take it every day. I would suggest that you do talk to your doctor. You may need a test. Hop on shoptkdeals.com. Use the coupon code TK10 to get 10% off this very potent vitamin D3, okay?